VP Sara sumagot na. Ayun, matinding buwelta ni Sara Duterte kay BBM at kay Trillanes. Nako, mukhang matindi to. Pag-uusapan natin to ngayon mga katunay. So wag na natin pagtagalin at sabay-sabay na nating panoorin to.
ITV. Eto na nga, no? Nagkaroon po ng rally dyan sa Hague,
Ayun,
Netherlands,
Sir,
sa harap ng ICC patungkol po kay former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte na Release Duterte Now rally. Ayan,
Release
kung
Duterte
saan
Now.
itong si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte isiniwalat ang history kung bakit nandiyan ngayon si former President Duterte. Sino ang tao na nag-orchestrate dito? Sino yung taong nagplano nito? Bakit nandyan ngayon si Tatay Digong? Isiniwalat po, ibinulgar po ni VP Sara dito sa video na ito.
Yan
ang ipapakita ko sa inyong lahat. Okay? Pero bago ang lahat guys, bago natin ito pakikinggan kasi medyo mataas itong mga banat ni VP Sara dito sa video na ito at tayo po ay babanat rin, magre-react po tayo dito. Bago ang lahat, paki-like muna at saka paki-share itong ating video. No?
Ayan, like
para
and
guys,
share.
kakalat ito sa taong bayan at least naman makatulong tayo na mas spread natin ang mensahe ni VP Sara. And at the same time guys, sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe dito sa ating channel, if this is your first time na nanonood dito sa ating vlog, mag-subscribe na po kayo kasi libre lang po ang mag-subscribe sa YouTube. Walang bayad yan. Kaya subscribe na kayo, no? Yung mga senior natin na mga nanonood dito, magpatulong kayo sa inyong mga apo, sa inyong mga anak, kung paano po mag-subscribe. Kasi kung nakasubscribe na kayo dito sa ating channel, ay lagi kayong updated sa ating mga trending na balita, especially dito kay VP Sara at ni Tatay Digong. Okay? Subscribe na po kayo. Eto, unahin muna natin itong wala naman tayong ibang kundi pakikinggan natin po ang shoutout nga pala sa Hague, Netherlands, sa mga nagrarally dyan. Brave Filipino.
Siyempre, bago natin simulan ng video ito, nice ko nga pala magbigay ng credits kay Sir Donmar TV. Ayan yung bibigyan natin ng reaksyon.
Na nandyan po, sobrang mainit dyan ngayon sa Hague, Netherlands, pero nandyan po kayo, nagtipon-tipon po kayo para sa suporta po ni Tatay Digong. Nakakataba ng puso yung mga hanggang ngayon, marami pa rin mga Pilipino na sumusuporta dito kay Tatay Digong. Ito po, panoorin po natin, no? Hey.
We should be released, and we should be released immediately. This is not about justice. This is about politics in the Philippines. Because who was the first to be sent to detention? President Marcos. Next, President Duterte. Next, pwede na. Yeah. The ICC
Hindi, kapag President Marcos, pangalawa yun.
wants the world to respect the institution. They should first know how to respect the law.
Bring him home!
Yun ang...
Bring him home! Bring him home!
Bring him home!
Bring him home!
Bring him home! Him home! Bring him home!
Ang susunod na pagpapasalamat ko ay sa Filipino community dito sa Den Haag, sa Hague. Nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila dahil sila yung hiningan ko ng tulong para mabuo yung pagtitipon natin ngayong araw na ito. At meron akong special thank you kay Alvin and Tourism dahil siya ang ginulo ko para magawa ang gali natin ngayong araw na ito. And Alvin, nawalan ng tulog dahil sa Foxily ka. Alvin, if they cannot respect a no comment, you should not lose sleep over it. That is their problem. That is not your problem.
Tama!
Dapat sila ang ma-stress sa'yo. Bakit ikaw ang na-stress sa kanila? Ikaw ang na-stress.
Parang yung ginagawa nila kay VP Sara, di ba? Sila ang nai-stress kay VP Sara, pero si VP Sara hindi natin nakikitaan ng stress. 'Di ba? Kitang-kita naman natin, halos si VP Sara is kalmadong-kalmado lang. Kung kalmado siyang magsalita, hindi siya ganun kagalit o kaano. Syempre nakita lang natin siyang magalit nung yung ginagamit nila ngayong pangkaso kay VP Sara, yung grave threat na yung pagbabanta niya. Syempre may dahilan naman 'yun. Pero eto, yung mga iba pa is hindi talaga natin nakikitaan si VP Sara na masyado siyang nape-pressure doon sa mga nangyayari.
Kaya binaba si VP Sara sa Pasilika na comment
Thank
tayo.
you.
Hindi siya nag-comment.
Para mabuo ang ating programa ngayong araw na ito. Magsisimula ako, mga kababayan, sa paalala sa International Criminal Court na hindi nila pwedeng gamitin sa mga desisyon nila ang mga sinasabi natin patungkol sa kaso ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa ating mga actions of support kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at syempre sa mga assessment at opinion natin dahil walang nagbabawal sa Rome Statute na ipahayag natin ang ating mga nararamdaman. Lahat ng kanilang pinapalabas, nire-release publicly ay pwedeng pag-usapan at pwedeng bigyan ng komento.
Tama.
Kaya lagi ko sinasabi, kapag ako ay tinatanong, ano ang tingin ko sa desisyon na nilabas ng ICC? Ang sinasabi ko lagi, walang basihan sa batas. Ano ba ang pinabasihan nila? Libro? Alam ko ano ang kredibilidad, suporta ng mga tao. Siyempre, dahil dating head of state yan, dating pangulo yan, minamahal yan ng marami. Siyempre, meron talaga tayong ipapakita na suporta. Ako, anak, kapamilya, siyempre, magagalit ako sa ginawa sa aking ama at sa isang Pilipino na ninakaw, kinuha, kinidnap doon sa Pilipinas para ihatid dyan sa ICC.
Tama naman yung sinasabi ni VP Sara. No, talagang magagalit ka talaga dahil unang-una, alam naman natin, walang jurisdiction ng ICC, uulitin natin, walang jurisdiction ng ICC dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi dapat pinapakailaman ang sino mang mamamayan natin dito at dalhin dyan sa ICC para litisin. Kung meron mang kasalanan si PRRD, dapat dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi naman kasi natin sinasabi na, si PRRD walang kasalanan, kailangan absuelto sa lahat. Siyempre, kung sila may reklamo, pwede naman silang magreklamo, pero dapat nasa tamang proseso. 'Di ba? Kung may kasalanan si PRRD, dapat dito talaga nililitis 'yan. 'Di ba? Dito siya kung may kasalanan siya, dito niya pagdusahan. Kung wala siyang kasalanan, dito siya ma-release. Ganun 'yan eh. Hindi diyan sa ICC, hindi pa pwedeng ICC ang nagdidesisyon sa kung anong kapalaran ng kababayan natin. Tsaka pangalawa, alam naman natin na sobra talaga. Para sa akin, no, parang nakikitaan ko ng inggit. Inggit. yung mga taong nagagalit kay VP Sara at sa mga Duterte. Lalo na kay Tatay Digong. Dahil sa kabila ng mga nangyayari sa kanila, sa kabila ng mga masasamang pinupukol sa kanila, at sa pagpapakulong kay Tatay Digong, pagsira sa pangalan ng mga Duterte, patuloy pa rin ang suporta ng tao sa kanila at hindi nawawala. Diba? Kasi kung sa iba-iba yan, kung naririnig nilang ganyan, kung ganyan na nangyari, tapos may masamang sinasabi sa'yo, yung iba nawawala na ng gana sumuporta. Sinasabi nila, uy, ganun pala yan. Pero sa mga Duterte, hindi nagbabago ang pananaw ng mga taong sumusuporta sa mga Duterte. Yun ang gustong matanggal ng mga taong gustong magpapagsakay sa mga Duterte. Matanggal ang suporta ng mga tao at mapaniwala na ang mga Duterte ay masasama.
Let us start in the year 2017. In 2017, a lawyer submitted a communication to the International Criminal Court. And this was supplemented by a communication by former Senator Trillanes and another person. That was in 2017. In 2018, the court took it under consideration. Between 2017 until 2021, there was investigation, no investigation, put on hold. Let us start first with the complainant. Who is Trillanes? Trillanes is the person behind the Oakwood Mutiny and the Manila Peninsula Siege, which was against who? It was against President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Trillanes stood on the platform of anti-corruption against Arroyo. We do not know the dealings, the negotiations behind the mutiny and the siege. That is not discussed publicly. When did we next see Trillanes? We saw him next in the Jejomar Binay attack. Vice President Binay was a candidate, a presumptive candidate for the 2016 election. And then what did he do? He attacked Vice President Binay on the platform of anti-corruption.
Talagang aso talaga si Trillanes.
But
Gamit
you
na
must
gamit
remember,
no?
he never attacked President Aquino on the platform of anti-corruption. And you remember the DAP, the pork barrel scam.
Ayun,
The
ako
Aquino
ah.
administration. And where was Trillanes then? Quiet. Because we do not know how much, where, how, when the negotiations happened.
Correct.
When did
Naku,
this
alam naman natin, no? Bata ng dilawan si dilawan yan eh. 'Di ba? So yung mga ina-attack niya is yung mga kontra sa dilaw, hindi dilaw. Parang ano, yung panahon ni Noynoy talaga, hindi natin siya nakitang umaatake. 'Di ba? Kasi lahat inaatake niya eh. Lahat ng mga nagdaan. Ito lang pagdating kay Noynoy, pero pagdating kay PRRD, yan na naman siya. Umaatake na naman siya. No? Hindi siya tumitigil. Nakikita naman natin ngayon, talagang hindi siya tumitigil. Parang ang tingin ko sa kanya, nagiging instrumento siya eh. Oo, nagiging instrumento siya. Kasi nakikita mo naman, no? 'Di ba? Siya talaga yung parang nagiging attack dog nila. Parang gano'n. If you want to destroy that human, parang gano'n. Use Trillanes. Trillanes is sanay na dyan.
see him again? Trillanes, hear about him again. You heard about him in 2016 because President Duterte was the front runner. In April 2016, President Duterte was already the front runner of the presidential elections. Everyone forgot about Mar Rojas, the candidate of Trillanes. Everyone was focused on Rodrigo Duterte, including Trillanes. This was the first time you heard about EJK, DDS, bank accounts, billions in the bank accounts. This was in 2016. In 2017, he filed the communication in ICC. And if you can remember, President Duterte never did anything against Trillanes, against the witnesses of Trillanes during the Senate hearing. He presented Bato-Bato, he presented Las Cañas, and he claimed so many things about the Davao Death Squad. And what did President Duterte do? He told everyone, pabayaan nyo yan. It is his right to speak. It is his freedom to talk about the Davao Death Squad.
Kung tutuusin, ang bait-bait pa nga ni PRRD sa kanya nung panahon presidente si PRRD. Kasi nung mga panahon na yon, kung tutuusin, pwede siyang anuhin eh. Di ba, ipakulong, ang gawin sa kanya. Pero hindi siya pinansin. Di ba, gaya na sinabi ni BP Sara, pabayaan niyo siya. Kasi sa akin, halatang halata naman si Trillanes, na sinabi ko kanina, na ginagamit talaga siya. Di ba, kung may gusto siyang pabagsakin, di ba? Parang ano na nga siya eh, parang yan ay sanay na sanay siya, trabaho niya na yan eh. Yun ang matindi kay Trillanes. Dito kay PRRD, talaga sa totoo lang, nahihirapan si Trillanes dito na pabagsakin ng mga Duterte. Siguro nagtagumpay siya kay PRRD na madala si PRRD dyan sa The Hague. Pero hindi pa siya nagtatagumpay na mawala ang suporta at pagtingin ng mga tao sa Duterte. Kasi alam mo, senator tuloy, hindi na pala senador yan, kahit barangay, di na mananalo yan. Kasi alam mo, Trillanes, kahit anong gawin mo na pagsasampa ng kaso, paninira sa mga Duterte, napakalabong maniwala sa iyo ang mga taong sumusuporta sa mga Duterte. Dahil alam namin kung ano talaga ang tunay na hidden agenda mo. 'Di ba? Alam namin yan. Kasi sa totoo lang, kung ikaw galit ka sa korupsyon, kung galit ka, lagi mong kinakampanya yan, galit ka sa korupsyon, dapat pinapakailaman mo itong flood control project. Dapat binibira mo itong flood control project. Bakit hindi natin nadidinig si Trillanes na nagsasalita about dyan? Napakatahimik, nakasipir ang bunganga ni Trillanes dyan. Pero pagdating dito sa mga Duterte, napakaingay ni Trillanes. Dahil sasabihin ni Trillanes, nakafocus siya sa mga Duterte, hindi pa pwede yun. Kung may kampanya ka na anti-corruption ka, lahat ng mga nangyayaring korupsyon dito sa Pilipinas ay pinapakailaman mo. Pinaglalaban mo kung ano ang dapat mong ipaglaban. So ang nangyayari, meron ka talagang hidden agenda sa mga Duterte. Gusto mong matalo ang mga Duterte, gusto mong mawala ang mga Duterte para ang manok mo ang siyang makapasok sa eleksyon. Hindi ko alam kung sino yun. Ngayon, kung mali ang sinasabi ko, di okay. Diba? Pero yun ang pumapasok sa isip namin.
So that is... Okay na ng payong, sir. Ay, ma'am. Sorry. May panyo ako, ma'am. So that was Trillanes. That is Trillanes. Against Gloria Arroyo, anti-corruption. Against Binay, anti-corruption. Against Rodrigo Duterte, anti-corruption. EJK.
So, ibig sabihin ni VP Sara, si Trillanes talaga, aso. Okay? Aso. Bakit siya aso? Because he is being selective sa kanyang propaganda na lalabanan natin ang korupsyon. Pero ang sarili niyang bakod na amo nung panahon ni Pinoy, hindi naman nila wala siyang ginawa doon sa pork barrel yun, di ba? Yun ang kasagsagan ng korupsyon doon, pork barrel doon sa panahon ni Pinoy. Wala, si Trillanes wala. Di ba? Si Trillanes is aso.
Aso.
Aso talaga yan.
But do you hear him speak of anti-corruption when it comes to President Aquino and President Marcos?
Correct.
Makes you question. What is the anti-corruption platform for? Whose interest is he serving?
Correct.
This is yellow, pink, red. Lahat ng kulay, kaliban lang sa green.
Lucky Charm.
Kaliban sa green at black.
Thank you, friend.
Diba? He is quiet when negotiations happen for his interest.
Correct.
But if negotiations are for the interest of, against the interest of Trillanes, he is noisy.
Silence.
So that is 2017 in the background of the person who sent the communication to ICC. Now here comes ICC. Yes, we take it into consideration, and then yes, we will investigate. We will put on hold the investigation through the years, and then come 2021, we will investigate. And who is the person? Who was the prosecutor who finally defended the investigation? It was Prosecutor Karim Khan, who was dismissed for an entirely different issue, but there was one issue about Karim Khan in relation to the case of President Rodrigo Duterte. And what was it? He had conflict of interest because his previous work was a representation of the victims of supposed EJK under the Commission on Human Rights in the Philippines.
Grabe.
That was his conflict of interest. But did ICC say categorically that you have conflict of interest? No. They did not. They just said that the appearance of impropriety excludes him from this case. But how can you give credibility to an investigation by someone who represented the victims? And now you're saying he must be investigated and prosecuted. That is clear conflict of interest. It muddles the entire investigation. That is our complainant, that is our prosecutor. We go to jurisdiction. ICC said, we have jurisdiction because we took the complaint under consideration before the Philippines withdrew as a member of the International Criminal Court. And what does that mean? It means that if you take it under consideration before withdrawal of a country, there will always be an open complaint, open under consideration, open investigation through the years, even if the ICC will not act on it. And is that justified? Of course not, because it will be a perpetual investigation. There must be an end to the perceived liability, to the under consideration, to the investigation. Otherwise, Otherwise, it will be 300 years from now, assuming this ICC
Still exist.
will exist for 300 years, there will be an open, under consideration, complete communication inside the ICC. That is what the countries who are withdrawing now from the ICC should watch out. Because if there is something under consideration there, even if they withdraw 50 years from now, kung buhay pa yung ICC, they can file a case. That is why we have been saying you have no jurisdiction. 2 years has passed since the withdrawal of the Philippines from the ICC before any formal inquiry was done. If that is allowed, then there will be no end to the ICC going after sovereign nations. That is jurisdiction. We go to how the ICC disregarded how former President Rodrigo Duterte was kidnapped from the Philippines. They say it doesn't matter to us how he was taken, where he was taken, by what means he was taken. What matters to us was that he was delivered to The Hague and endorsed to the ICC. If this is about justice, then why does it allow injustice to happen to people who are respondents of communications, of complaints inside ICC? Next, we go to interim release, the release of President Duterte. There are 3 things in the Rome Statute that are to be considered before a release can be considered or granted to a respondent. First is that he is not a flight risk. Second is that he does not, will not, cannot obstruct the ongoing investigation. And third, he cannot continue to commit crimes under the ICC jurisdiction. You saw President Duterte being pushed, pulled outside of the room, pushed into a plane. Is that a person who is a flight risk? He cannot even walk 3 steps and fall to the ground. In fact, how many times has he slipped and hit his head in detention? No one can count anymore. And no one is talking about it. Because why? President Duterte is the Asian poster boy in answer to the attacks that ICC is only going after the black race.
Takin mo, no? Talagang yung ginawa nila kay PRRD, no? Sa atin, sa totoo lang, parang binastos si PRRD dito sa atin. Sa kabila ng ginawa ni PRRD, nakakabutihan siya mga mamamayan, yung pag-aalala niya sa taong bayan, ganito pa yung napala niya eh. Diba? Pero hindi naman yun pinagsisisihan ni PRRD. No? Pero talagang dahil sa kaswapangan, sa kapangyarihan ng mga tao na gustong umagaw sa mga Duterte, di ba? Kasi alam naman nila, malakas ang mga Duterte. Talagang ginawa nila to. Di ba? Kasi ang alam natin, talagang ang mga Duterte, yan talaga ang legit na anti-corruption talaga. Hindi katulad ng iba na nag-a-anti-corruption lang, gaya ni Trillanes. Talagang yung mga ginawa kay PRRD ay hindi talaga kapatawad-patawad. Sa totoo lang. Kung si BBM kaya niyang patawarin ang mga dilawan na nagpahirap sa pamilya niya, tingin ko dito kay VP Sara parang hindi niya basta-basta makakalimutan niyang nangyari yan. Kaya kapag si VP Sara naging presidente ng Pilipinas, hindi ko naman sinasabing puro ganito yung gagawin niya, no? Ang sa akin lang talaga, mas gagawin niya yung tama. Oo. Yung nararapat doon sa mga taong umabuso sa kanilang mga kapangyarihan.
He is a flight risk because of the support of the Filipinos around the world. Is that an assessment, a correct measure of a flight risk? Second, he will cannot continue to interfere or obstruct any investigation. Investigation started when? When he was president. The witnesses, Matubato, Las Cañas, when? When he was president. And what did he do? Nothing at all. He allowed the ICC to say whatever it wants, to do whatever it wants, even when he was president. When he was former president, I told him, the ICC is doing an investigation. The investigators are coming in and out of the country. We have proof of immigration records. And what did he say to me? Pasag di na sila. Di na sila pwede manghilabot sa ato ang nasod. Pasag di na sila magsulod gawas dinhi sa ato ang nasod. And I knew that something was happening because I hear it from the office of the former speaker, Romualdez, and so I put it on record. What did I do? I wrote the president. Why is the ICC continuing the investigation inside the Philippines? And then he said, what did he say? He said, we will not cooperate in any shape or form with the ICC because it is an infringement in our sovereignty. On that point, he was correct.
Ayun, natating nato ngayon ang video na nagmula kay Balitang Pinoy TV. Yan, syempre shoutout sa Balitang Pinoy TV, credits, at syempre kay Sir Donmar TV. Syempre supportahan nyo sila mga katunay, no? Si Donmar TV, yung channel ni Sir Donmar, pakibisita nyo yan. At kayo mga katunay, syempre huwag nyo kalimutang mag-subscribe dito sa Tunay na Kritiko. Kayo mga katunay, anong masasabi nyo tungkol dito? Comment lang po kayo sa comment box. So once again, I'm BT and I'm out. Peace.